The relationship between India and Pakistan has been strained for decades. Marked by territorial disputes and cross-border terrorism, the situation escalated in recent years. Both nations, armed with nuclear capabilities, found themselves locked in a perilous dance. Tensions simmered, threatening to boil over. The world watched with bated breath, aware of the potential for a larger conflict. Against this backdrop of animosity, a pivotal event unfolded on the night of May 9, 2025. India, in a meticulously planned operation, launched a series of airstrikes targeting key military installations within Pakistan. This bold move sent shockwaves across the Indian subcontinent and beyond, signaling a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict. The strikes, shrouded in secrecy, were a calculated response to a series of provocations from across the border. India, determined to send an unequivocal message, chose to act decisively, targeting the very heart of Pakistan's military infrastructure. The world, accustomed to the rhetoric and posturing of the two nuclear-armed neighbors, now grappled with the reality of a new chapter in their volatile relationship. The aftermath of the strike saw a flurry of activity on both sides. Pakistan, initially downplaying the extent of the damage, scrambled to assess the situation and formulate a response. The international community, caught off guard by the audacity of the Indian action, called for restraint and de-escalation, fearing a wider conflagration. Under the cover of darkness, Indian fighter jets, armed with advanced weaponry, pierced the night sky, their targets locked on strategic locations deep within Pakistani territory. The strikes, swift and precise, were aimed at crippling Pakistan's military capabilities and delivering a resounding message of Indian resolve. One of the primary targets was the Nur Khan Air Base, home to a significant portion of the Pakistani Air Force's fleet. The base, caught off guard, sustained heavy damage, with reports suggesting that several fighter jets were destroyed or rendered inoperable. The attack on Nur Khan, a symbol of Pakistani air power, sent shockwaves through the ranks of the Pakistani military establishment. Another key target was the Pakistani Army's headquarters in Rawalpindi, a nerve center for military operations. While the extent of the damage to this heavily fortified facility remains unclear, the very fact that India chose to target it speaks volumes about the audacity and ambition of the operation. The strikes, carried out with precision-guided munitions, demonstrated India's growing military prowess and its ability to project power deep inside enemy territory. The message was clear: India would no longer tolerate provocations and was willing to use all means necessary to defend its interests. In the aftermath of the strikes, a war of narratives erupted, with both India and Pakistan seeking to control the narrative and portray themselves in a favorable light. Pakistan, caught off guard and embarrassed by the scale of the Indian attack, initially downplayed the extent of the damage, claiming that the Indian strikes had been largely ineffective. However, as evidence of the destruction mounted, Pakistan's claims began to unravel. Satellite imagery, corroborated by eyewitness accounts, painted a starkly different picture, revealing the true extent of the damage inflicted on Pakistani military installations. The strikes, far from being the failed attempt that Pakistan initially claimed, had achieved their objectives, delivering a significant blow to Pakistan's military capabilities. India, on the other hand, maintained a studied silence, refusing to be drawn into a war of words. The government, while confirming the strikes, refrained from divulging details about the targets hit or the extent of the damage inflicted. This calculated ambiguity, while frustrating for some, was seen by many as a sign of India's maturity and its determination to avoid further escalation. The international community, caught in the crossfire of competing narratives, struggled to make sense of the situation. With both sides accusing the other of lying and warmongering, the truth, as is often the case in such situations, remained elusive, buried under a mountain of propaganda and misinformation.